Why would anybody invest $20 million in a 6,000 deadweight tanker that has no earnings today to support that kind of investment?
At the time that the investment was made, the earnings were there. And in fact, looking at the underlying statistics of that fleet, it was believed that the growth in consumption of refined petroleum products, combined with the completely low new building activity compared to other ship types, as well as the relative old age of the fleet itself in general, made this a very sound investment decision.
Is it a question of calling such an investment too early?
At this time, it was more or less making that investment decision too late. It would have been a much better investment decision. I made that investment decision in 2008. If I had made that investment decision in 2004, for example, I would have been able to have that uprise in the market for 4 years, and I probably would have had a capital value of the vessel that would be able to survive in the current low market environment.
Is it worth, however, despite the ups and downs, because everybody deals with a cyclical market, but is it worth investing such high amounts of money or such large amounts of money in such small tonnage and such specialised tonnage? I mean, that's the question of the day, isn't it?
Well, sure. At the time, it did make sense, and I think making that investment decision again today, I'm not an economist by trade, so I wouldn't have been able to foretell the massive economic crisis and financial crisis that was coming. But today, I would still be in the same segment if I could. If I could raise that same amount of capital and come into any kind of any segment within the shipping industry, I'd be doing this one still, because I think that the underlying statistics are there to demonstrate that this is the one segment that will maintain value through the future. Also, I think it's one of the sectors that has the greatest added value to the ultimate client base, the oil companies or the oil traders, simply because these small ships trade on coastal regions. They trade within Amazon River or the Plate River or any one of the coastal areas where a great deal of sensitivity to public outcry in the event of a disaster like an oil spill or death or injury is very public and therefore a higher risk. So the client base at the end of the day is looking for operators, not the mom and pop traditional coastal tanker owner, but the large international company that is used to disclosure, transparency, operational excellence, key performance indicators, or to bring that to a market that didn't have that so much. Now, there are operators in this segment who are fantastic, the Odfjells and the Eidssons and all of those guys, but they deal mostly in the North Sea. Fair enough, because of the short sea trade. These were conceptualized as mostly short sea vessels, but not so much in the rest of the world, like the Far East and Central America and South America. And that has grown, but it hasn't grown in the level that we had wished, simply because airplanes. People can't afford airplane tickets, so there are less airplanes flying. The big consumers of the refined products, such as an airplane. Let's get one thing. Let's put things in perspective. If next time you get on an airplane, open the in-flight magazine, look at the back, look at the statistics of an A321 aircraft. How many tons of cargo does it carry? It carries 18 tons of jet fuel. Now, how much do you and I consume in a year? If you do the calculation, I drive a 2-liter car. I consume maybe 100 liters every 2 weeks. So I consume maybe 2,700 metric tons per year, just me. That aircraft consumes 18 tons. I consume 2.7 metric tons. So for every aircraft that is down, you have 6 of me or 7 of me. So that's the huge demand. And that's every single day. This airplane is flying 3 times a day. That's the demand that was taken out of the market that made my earnings drop through the floor. And in fact, not only my earnings, the 6,000 tons, the 10,000 tons, the 13,000 tons, the 17,000 tons, the 20,000 tons, all these regional distribution vessels.
So when do you expect the small tanker segment to, let's say, come back into some nice earnings for the owners?
I think it'll be when consumer demand starts to increase, when people have the disposable income to get back on the airplanes and buy those products that get transported in trucks that crisscross nations. So when consumer income and confidence comes back, I'd say mid-2012 is my guess.
Okay, thank you very much.